On this episode of The Road Chose Me, I'm driving in the Ivory Coast along the border of Liberia, trying to get to Tai National Park. I've been hanging out in Bamako, Mali for a couple of weeks and getting information about where I should go next. I really want to visit the Ivory Coast, and I'm told there's an amazing road that parallels the western border with Liberia. It's mud, and at this time of year there's probably going to be some rain. Looking on a map, I see there's a tiny border crossing from Mali to Ivory Coast that leads directly into this road, so I set out for that. What you're seeing here is actually the no man's land between Mali and Ivory Coast. As usual, I overestimate how far I can drive, and so just as darkness sets in, I ask permission of the village chief and I camp right in the middle of a small village in Ivory Coast. Here's what breakfast looked like. Soon I find myself on an amazing paved road, and I'm shocked there's virtually no traffic of any kind. Mountains rise up quickly in the distance, and it feels exactly like Central America. Needing a resupply, I pull into the mountain town of Man and immediately impressed by the local village. Here's what it looks like as I drive right through the middle of town in all the chaos. Immediately south of town, the road turns to gravel and the real fun begins. There's not much traffic, and the few people I do see are extremely friendly, always waving hello and keen for a chat. As you can see, it's extremely beautiful here. I'm driving through small mountains on bright red dirt roads. Lots of the forest has been cut down and is replaced with palm, cocoa and rubber plantations. In some places, they stretch further into the distance than I can see. It's absolutely staggering how much of this jungle has been smashed down in the name of farming. Occasionally, I pass through small villages. They really are mud huts and tin roofs. Almost none of them have electricity, and they don't appear to have running water either. Nonetheless, the people in these villages are always happy, and they offer a warm greeting whenever I stop to resupply or buy odds and ends. The further south I go, the worse the road gets. It slowly deteriorates, and I start to encounter enormous mud pits blocked up by trucks and other stuck vehicles.
So about 99% of the roads here are perfectly fine, bumpy, the odd water crossing, but nothing major. But it thumped rain last night and the night before. And so then the other 1% of the road, typically river crossings, typically uphill, turns into this kind of thing. So it's a big boggy marsh, and this mud is unbelievably gooey and sticky. You'll see these guys trying to walk in it, just getting completely stuck. And we have these trucks here on the road. They're full of rubber and cocoa and palm oil that's all farmed here in the area. The truck probably weighs, I don't even know, 100,000 pounds. I don't even want to know how far over legal limit it is. And so any kind of incline, these things just get stuck up to their axles. This actually isn't a bad stuck from what I've seen. And these guys will just labor away here with shovels and moving gravel for as long as it takes. The truck said they'd been there for a week, waiting for someone to come and pull them out. And it was seriously down to its axles, a truck this big. So yeah, it's been an adventure for sure.
couple of locals eventually convinced that truck to back up out of the way so a few of us can get by. Here's what it looked like going through in the Jeep. No problem at all, locked front and rear. Here's one of the bigger mud pits that I got on film. This van tried to go around a couple of stuck trucks, and because he's only rear-wheel drive, it took a long time for them to pull him out. I looked carefully at this line because I thought I would have to take it, but as it turns out, they pulled the truck out just before it was my turn to go. So with the truck clear, I drove straight through the middle of the pit, not entirely sure what to expect. Once again, locked front and rear, I had no problems whatsoever, and actually, I probably went a little bit too quick. Here it is from my perspective, sped up a little bit. Check out how long this line is. All of these vehicles had been stopped waiting to get through. I'm so lucky I squeezed through when I did. I may have gotten stuck there overnight otherwise. I have to say it, this is the West Africa I dreamed of all those years ago.